Russ McQuaid with our NewsNation station in Indianapolis has been closely following the story since the very beginning. He joins us live tonight. Thank you for being here, Russ. I think a big question, yes, thank you for joining us. Why release this information now? Klein has been in jail since August of 2020. Police have known about this fake online persona since 11 days after the murders. So why now release this information?
There hasn't been a whole lot of information released in the last year, despite repeated attempts to update this case on behalf of the media. And that is a specific question. Why? 24 hours ago, the Indiana State Police, in conjunction with the Carroll County Sheriff's Department, released this information about this fake social media posting. Immediately this morning, we began making phone calls on it, talking to sources, digging through court records. And as a matter of fact, I drove up to Peru, Indiana. That's about 60 miles north of Indianapolis, and went knocking on a door today, the door of his father's home. There was no answer at that door. I found neighbors that told me just recently, approximately around the time of Thanksgiving, that federal authorities had arrived at that home, had questioned the father, and had left with Klein's dog. Klein has been jailed ever since August of 2020 on some 30 counts relating to child solicitation and child pornography. He comes up for a pre-trial for his trial just about a week from now. There are no coincidences. Why is this all coming to fruition at this particular time? That's the question I always ask. Why this guy? Why this time? Why this information? We haven't gotten a lot of answers on that, so that's why we've gone out. We've attempted to talk to the people in the neighborhood, tried to learn some of the other information. And at this point, while we don't know why specifically, the detectives from the state police have decided to publicize this arrest, the timing certainly can be looked at a little askance, considering the fact he does have a pretrial coming up next week, and they took his dog. Do you take his dog because the dog may be evidence in any sort of a criminal case, or do you simply take his dog because you're out to bug him?
Now, do police have any reason to believe the girls who were murdered that day had been in touch with this fake social media account?
Well, they know that Klein, residing in Peru, which is about a 35 miles as the crow flies, but really about an hour drive between Peru and Delphi. It's not that far. It's up in the same central part of the state of Indiana. And of course, one of the girls did have her cell phone, as you saw with the video that was captured and the voice that was captured on her cell phone. We have seen no indication that links the girls and any electronic devices that they possessed with this Anthony Schatz fake persona. And there's absolutely nothing in the probable cause going back to Klein's charges regarding child solicitation and child pornography that even points to or hints to the Delphi case, except it was detectives and federal agents assigned to the Delphi case within 11 days of the discovery of those little girls' bodies in February of 2017 that suddenly became first aware of and conducted their first search warrant of Klein's home. That is the only connection we've seen so far, but we have not seen anything in a probable cause evidentiary that links Klein to those cases.
Okay, so you mentioned this. Police say Klein is not linked directly to these murders, but did police say how this new information could help them solve this case?
What the investigators are looking for is to jog the memories of anybody in, of course, anywhere in the United States, anywhere in Indiana, but specifically in that part of north central Indiana, jog the memories of their children to think back 5 or 6 years, 2016, 2017, if they had ever been solicited, had ever communicated with somebody that went by the name of Anthony Schatz on any of these social media sites. It is perhaps something that had never occurred to anyone before, or it could be very embarrassing. Like we mentioned in the probable cause, Klein mentioned that he had probably received about 100 different photographs from young females and that would be potentially embarrassing information for them to reveal at this point in time. I talked to one veteran investigator today. He said that is what is going to be so difficult. On the one hand, you're hoping that some parents or some young people out there will recall a few years ago having an encounter like this, but on the other hand, be rather reticent to come forward and talk about that because it is embarrassing, it's very personal, or it's perhaps the thinking is, am I in trouble now because I had heard from this guy and I never brought it out before? So it's a double-edged sword, but investigators are certainly hoping that anybody who will talk to their children, will go back, will perhaps look at their devices where information has been saved, that this will ring a bell and it will allow investigators to put more pieces of the puzzle together as they try to determine the extent of Klein's interest in his travels throughout north central Indiana about 5 years ago.
Russ McQuaid, we certainly appreciate your time tonight. You've been on the ground. Thank you for that unique insight. We appreciate your time.
Thank you.
You bet.
Thanks for watching. Click the red subscribe button below so you can get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.